24 hours with JB. Let's talk. So, oh man, I'm sitting back in deep thought. Listen, man, the blessings continue to come in. Why is that? Because we keep our energy pure, because we move with purpose, divinity, and most importantly, intention, right? We're aligned, beloved. We are aligned. And with that alignment comes obstacle after obstacle, hurdle after hurdle, and test after test, right? And when people test you, especially people that have known you for the greater part of your life, let's just say, or even from those who are related, beloved, once you find out the solutions to those particular exams, you'll start to flourish. You will also start to see that those exams weren't as intense as you made them, right? In fact, it was all in your mind the whole entire time. But you see, you have to get mental clarity to understand that those obstacles, those burdens, that dead weight, if you will, it can cause you to lose focus and lose sight of the higher goal, of the bigger mission, right? We don't want to lose sight of what's imperative, especially to those that are coming behind us. I'm speaking about the kids now, right? I'm speaking about the succession play, right? How could I possibly allow my kids to surpass my doing on this earth if I'm worried about nonsense or things that doesn't pertain to my legacy play? Shout out to the sponsors, by the way. And with that being said, beloved, we strive to keep emotional intelligence at the forefront, beloved. When I was younger, right? Speaking about like a few years ago, right? Even. Well, let me backtrack a little bit. So when I was younger, there was a point of time that I was very bashful, right? I would be very meek, right? I would let a lot of things be said and I wouldn't address things, right? Fast forward to my latter years, I started to become the opposite, right? I started to become boisterous, right? I developed a no fly zone over the course of time where I said, yo, listen, we're not going for no subliminals, no slick remarks, no anything. I'm on everything like white on rice, right? But you see, that requires a certain amount of energy. And at that particular point in time in my life, I didn't understand where I could potentially be or how that could potentially affect me in other areas of my life, right? And so I feel that to say, in this day and age, I let a lot of stuff go, beloved. And if I do respond, I strive to be as respectful as well as professional as possible, whether outside or inside, beloved. Because what you do outside reflects inside and vice versa, right? So I feel that to say, in this day and time, now it's challenging, albeit it's very challenging, but in this day and time, I strive to move with patience, right? I strive to take a deep breath, close my eye. Certain techniques you want to develop over the course of time. They may seem cliche or even bougie or against what we were taught growing up, right? But these techniques will help shape and mold you to become the superstar that you know you are. They'll help shape and mold you to become the giant that you're destined to be. They'll push you that much closer up the success ladder. And that's what it's about, right? Because if you're successful, then the ones behind you are successful as well, as long as they follow suit or at least engage with you, right? At least take a chapter or two out of your book, or even a page, perhaps, beloved. But if people see that you have the blueprint, why not follow? And the truth of the matter is, some people may see you with the blueprint and they still may not follow. But we'll save that particular subject for another video. Whew, I digress. But let me share this with you all. So when I was praying just now, even right, and this has happened to me a few times before, and this is why I need to get back into therapy. As of the current moment, I'm not in therapy. Inshallah, that will change, right? But with that being said, me personally, sometimes I find myself striving to cry. Yeah, I said it, striving to cry, just to let some of this built up emotion, built up depression, even from a lot of different circumstances, built up oppression and other instances or circumstances or past events that took place, right? In other words, a lot of stuff I just dealt with over the course of time. Even down to this year, I've been through quite a few things, but I'm not gonna say I never cried about it. I'm not gonna say I never pouted about it. I'm not gonna. Things did hit me. I did get hit with some body shots here and there throughout the course of this year, right? But I always knew to keep my eyes on the prize. I always knew don't let them see you sweat. I always knew that if you could get past your grandmother's passing, especially all that took place during that point in time, beloved, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could stop you. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could cause you to fall or stumble and stay there. Anything outside of that, beloved, stand up and get busy. And that's how we're on it. That's why you see this version of Jay continuously flourishing and flourishing and flourishing, because I'm very intent on every single move that I make. My chessboard is out at all times. I don't put the chessboard up. And I'm playing myself in this game called life, right? So thus, I know even when I want to get into certain bags or tap into certain emotions or speak about past situations or how people may have done me dirty or how people play games with me to this day, or I know not to even voice that concern, past experience, or toxicity. Why is that? Because it serves no purpose. Because my kids can't benefit off of that. Because my wife doesn't want to hear that. Right? At this point in time, let's focus on the future. Let's focus on the continuous elevation that continuously occurs, right? Anybody that has done you wrong, spoke badly about you, has with like all of that, you know what you've been through, and you know, and those persons know how they may have treated you or your loved ones throughout situation after situation, right? But guess what, beloved? You kept your intentions pure. You may have fell in a booby trap or two here and there, but you stood on business. And that's how I sleep at night. You spoke to your therapist about what was taking place. And that's how you got through that rainy storm. That's how you got through those sleepless nights. That's how you got through that frustration. That's how you said to yourself, this isn't normal, beloved. If something is stressing you out, if someone is stressing you out, if someone is playing games with you, if someone is not rooting for you, if someone is causing you to question yourself, cut them off, beloved. Even if that someone is me. Cut them off, beloved. Don't let anyone stop your growth. Don't let anyone stop what's destined for you. Don't let anyone stop your legacy, beloved. Don't. Because that person is not worth it. That person is clearly dealing with things internally that's unbeknownst to you. You understand what I'm saying? So thus, be private as well as mindful when it comes to exemplifying things that serve no true purpose. Styles P once said, Let the sweat dry off and then grab the cannon. Stay blessed.